Hey, everybody, welcome to the NerdBrand podcast, where we have come to kick butt and chew bubblegum, and we are all out of bubblegum. So,
Where did Bubba go?
that's a famous line from the movie Them. I think it's called Them, and yeah, it's a great movie. If anybody can ever go out there and watch it. But, anyways, we're going to talk about nostalgic marketing and advertising. This episode is brought to you by Michaela, so let's roll. No pressure, Michaela, about hosting the show, but was your idea, so I'll drive. But you can like
Mhm.
take us down the premise of the show and what this one on is on.
So I don't know. We just needed some kind of idea, and I thought, why not be fun and talk about nostalgic brands? I feel like that is all over my For You page on not only TikTok but also Instagram. So it gets me in my feels. So I thought, why not? And I thought it would be especially kind of cool since, there's a generational difference between you and I that, you dive into, your nostalgic brands from like, and correct me if I'm wrong, from like, the 80s and 90s. And then myself growing up in the early 2000s, kind of dive into those little tidbits of memory, go down memory lane.
Yeah, my contribution would be Nokia, the phones.
Oh, okay. See, that was probably one of my, actually, no. And this is really gonna turn back time. Do you remember the Vonage phones?
Yeah, I do.
Oh my gosh, my dad, it was for my birthday, my 8th birthday. I got a stuffed possum, not like taxidermy, like a stuffed animal possum that I thought was the cutest thing. And then there was a Vonage cell phone, so I could make phone calls to him because he was living out here and we were still living in New Jersey, so we do Sunday phone calls with him. So I had my own phone to do that, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" And I think that one eventually died, and then I got a Nokia, and that's where my Tetris obsession began.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, nostalgic branding is like been a thing. I mean, 2 years ago, you had Pepsi kind of do a throwback of their logo, and then Burger King did the same thing. I don't know if you
Really,
remember that or not.
yeah, their
Yeah.
rebrand still looks. It was kind of like an simplification of the brand logo and the
Mhm.
brand standards, but it looks like how it was back in like I don't know when you see Stranger Things. Like I think it's season 3 when they're in the mall. It's where you can see the Burger King logo, and it looks just like that. So it's like a time capsule almost with what they've done to throw back. What I don't understand with one fast food chain in particular is McDonald's. They have always been kind of like the jungle gyms, the wacky colors, the orange, not, I'm sorry, the yellow and the red color schemes uh,
Yeah.
applied all across the restaurant. In like my generation, like in the early 2000s, it was just very vibrant and popping and wow. And now it's transitioned to something so like modern looking that it just looks like a cement block. Like it looks like you're going into a prison almost. So McDonald's has transition into from like jungle gym, free for all, have fun for kiddos to corporate America, cell block cell kind of vibe.
Yeah, yeah, it has. It's kinda changed a bit. I wanna see if I can try to pull up here. Yeah, here we go. So I'm pulling my screen up, and, these are some of the ads that, like we were talking about Pepsi, and of course I got it muted because I don't want YouTube to, like, do it, but then you can see how Burger King kinda went backward, and then you have all these others, Reebok,
Oh,
um
for sure.
Bold, like, I don't remember that one with Burger King, but, it's very interesting, but you can see how Pepsi kinda went backward with their stuff. I mean, it's something that going from that there and then back and forth, and then yeah, so they came up with this logo design. It's really interesting. Like there was in the when CSS started becoming a big deal as far as like what you could do with it. Like this entire logo was coded. It wasn't an image. It wasn't a vector art file. And so they could actually write this with the CSS code, and it took forever because, as you can see, it's just based on circles and smiley faces and stuff.
That's probably the most engaging do's and don'ts section of a brand guide I've ever
I mean,
seen.
yeah, isn't it? Yeah, could you imagine us asking Mitch, "Hey, can you make this look like that?" I mean, and then you got Microsoft here that, they kinda went backward a little bit, I think, too. But I mean, yeah, but look at these are these are really cool looking designs. They're not doing it now. I bought some newer flavors I think they got coming out. I actually bought wild cherry. That's what I bought. I bought wild cherry, and I was like, "Oh man, it's different." So I started I tried that out because I wanted to try out that flavor, and yeah, and it's gonna be interesting to see. Of course, you probably saw where they're going back to like pure sugar cane in the ingredients now.
I thought that was just for Coca-Cola.
Now I think it's probably like,
Pepsi too.
well, Pepsi was doing it for Pepsi, and they did it for Mountain Dew. They were called throwbacks. And so kind of playing off the nostalgia thing, I mean, they would even change the ingredients because before high fructose corn syrup, they were just using sugarcane. So the
Mhm.
Pepsi throwbacks are really good. But I think they're seasonal when they come out. And that's the other thing is too, is like Live Wire. I don't know if you ever tried that from Mountain Dew, but they Mountain Dew Live Wire is like an orange drink, and it's only available in the summer.
I don't ever, and this is such a weird thing, and it was whenever I was a freshman in high school,
Right.
I was obsessed with Diet Mountain Dew. For some reason, it was just my go-to pop whenever I was first starting high school, and I'm like, my mom had a really big, bad Polar Pop obsession, so she'd always, go get her Diet Pepsi, and I'd usually ask for a Diet Mountain Dew, and that was it. But I never really got into any of the individual flavors. Same thing with like Pepsi, like I just or Coke, like I just like a cherry Coke. I'm simple, I'm easy. Uh,
I tell you one that I miss. I miss Pizza Hut.
mm,
Uh, you
do
know,
salad bars.
Yeah, I mean, you'd go into a Pizza Hut, and I don't know if you still can do a sit-down dining experience, but a pan pizza at Pizza Hut isn't like a pan pizza that you order and have delivered. They don't taste the same, right? It's sort of like when you drink a Coke out of a bottle versus a can or plastic glass or cup or whatever, right? It's sort of like that. I remember Pizza Hut and going there and how that was an experience, and I remember
It
the
was,
I remember the
yeah.
ads. The ads were like kinda leaning they even had Donald Trump, like, back in the day. I mean, it's really, really old, but he was actually one that actually did a lot of commercials for them, which is funny. It was with his first wife, Ivanka. No, that's his daughter, whoever it was, anyway. Uh,
Probably. I feel like he always has the same kind of type. It starts with the letter I.
yeah,
Uh, Via Vowel. Um, yeah, I used to have a bunch of birthday parties at Pizza Hut, so that this experience especially resonates with me because we would just, invite the neighborhood, the cousins, everybody, and it was just, a simple thing for mom to do. It was, out of her hands. They took care of the pizzas. I missed the salad bars. I remember I watched Benchwarmers a couple of months back, and I don't know if you've ever seen it, but the part where David Spade is like, I like salad, and the woman's refilling the salad bar. I'm like, I miss that. I would love
yeah,
to have that back. There's a core memory that just popped up in my head just thinking about Pizza Hut. I remember sitting in the booths with like the really tall Coca-Cola glasses, like so big that my little hands could not pick up.
yeah,
That I
I
had to
remember
like scoot over and then suck out of the straw and then
yeah, those were
build up on
huge. Those suckers were like that. It's like a big gulp.
exactly, and I just am, like, 7 years old, and I have baby hands, still have baby hands to this day, so I'm just, like, trying not to spill, and I remember having such a sugar rush off of probably, like, a Sprite, and I'm just bouncing on the booth, and there's, like, a stained glass. Do you remember, like, the stained glass dividers that were in between each of the booths?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I would like stare into that like I was in some kind of other dimension with the sugar rush. And I thought for some reason in my mind, I'm like, if I had to ask the server for something, because I was just starting school, I would raise my hand to ask for something, and I'd just be like, "Ooh, ooh, 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 I have a question. I need something." And my family would just be like, "She's gone. She's a goner."
Yeah, I forget it. She's gone. That's
We gave
over.
her too much sugar.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people forget that branding is not just the logo, it's not colors, it's not just that, it's the experience you have because it creates memories like that. And if your brand doesn't create memories, I don't see how you can think that it's going to be memorable or have the lift that it needs for everybody to kind of even years later to go like, yeah, I remember that, and still have all that equity with it,
Yeah.
that can allow you to sell product or service. So,
What
yeah.
was it? Mitch mentioned one memory one time that like the way he conveyed it, I was like, oh my gosh, like that's just, a screen or a memory of like anybody's childhood memory whenever it involves ice cream. And he was talking about, on especially on hot summer days, going to an ice cream shop and like as soon as you walk in, you're flashed with like all of the cool air and you're whacked with like all of the sweetness smells and the swirls that are going on and just how he uh articulated it, it just made you feel like you were standing in the shop reliving getting whatever favorite, your Baskin Robbins or your Carvel or your Graders, and it's all about the experience and remembering those little sensations.
Yeah, I think a lot of the it's almost like retro type logo styling is sort of trying to make a comeback. It's sort of busy, but it's not. It's very 1970-ish as far as, fonts and things like that.
You know
Uh,
what I wish they would bring back, like a 90s retro-esque for this restaurant in particular,
mm.
is Taco Bell with like the wacky like swirls and the purples and the teals that were just permeated all throughout the restaurant.
I tell you, I've been trying to look here on YouTube, like for, nostalgia ads and brands that aren't around anymore, things like that. And, but now that you mentioned Taco Bell, yeah, it's weird how they're all pushing like what they're doing in their advertising right now. I mean, they're obviously pushing like chicken, which is weird. Taco place, it does chicken. It's like, yeah, okay. How about you go back to tacos, make good tacos, right? I've said that before on the show. But yeah, they're, Taco Bell, like the dog.
Mhm.
Like, it's really funny, isn't it, how all these places have walked away from their back and, talking about ads to bring back nostalgia. I mean, all the mascots, they're gone, right? I mean, there's no
Yeah,
Ronald McDonald.
there's no Ronald McDonald, and it's just like back to my point. It just looks like a prison block cell. When you roll up to a McDonald's, the only color you see is the McDonald's M, and it's like there's no red in the branding anymore. And I'm just like, where did it
No.
go? That was
And
back in the
that's the
good
thing.
days.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
No, like back in the good old days, like even the roofs, like the structures of the restaurant, like where it had kind of like the sloped top roof that was always red. You don't see those anymore. I
Oh, I
miss
think I
it.
may have found something here that might be good. Hold on a second, I'll bring this up. Um Kind of pause that. Yeah, because I just found something that kind of leans into exactly what you're talking about.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, this, yeah. So this right here, video, why they changed their branding. Um, this is this is McDonald's, and then that's like the old arches right there, right? This is the old style. If you watch that movie with Michael Keaton,
Hmm.
um,
Founder or the
yeah,
founder.
yeah. So this roof style that you see in this video, not the flashy, but that right there. I don't know if I can get to the pause it to where it's like right in the right timing or not, but boop, there we go. Like
Hmm.
that. That's how it is. That was the original, right? And then you can see like the little chef guy. I mean, it's yeah, McDonald's has gotten away from, pouring it there, and then that's where you got now. So that's what you're talking about right there is like this boring, where's the red? Where's all that color go, right?
then the LTO, or not even the LTOs, but like just the signage that's that and the McDonald's M are the only things that provide color.
Yeah, I mean, it's and then remember this?
That's the one that I remember. Like
Yeah,
this.
these were supposed to be fries. That's what these
Mhm,
are. All of those things, stripes on the roof. Yeah, the one in what was it? There was only one or two left. There was one in Pleasure Park, and there was one in near J Town, or maybe it was in J Town by the expressway.
mhm.
They were the only ones that were left like this, but now they've been remodeled.
I know, I'm like that, and I guess, I mean, you can't really. I've always kind of thought this in my head. The rooftop kind of reminds me of a Pizza Hut rooftop, but like, are
Yeah.
they really kind of, I don't know, that confusing with mixing up the brands? I don't know. I just don't know why they pivoted to such a modern, bland kind of a look to it, and I'm like, how inviting.
Yeah, I mean, the movie The Founder does a really good job of kind of explaining, like, how they make money, how they came about with their the entire brand, really, and philosophy, and they have gotten away from that. I mean, they were doing burgers and fries, and that was their shtick, and now they do, like, all this other stuff, and then now in fast food brands are, like, the ones that we all talk about, like we are right here, that are nostalgic to us because we remember back then when they were doing XYZ. Now they all kind of want to try to sell the same thing again, and Chick-fil-A seems to be the only one that's keeping course, is still they're still running the funny cows with just eat chicken or eat more yeah, eat more chicken, and you got the cows running around.
Mhm.
The ads are getting a little worn. I mean, they are, but because I mean, how often can you it's sort of like oh, the commercials, like, how do you can avoid mayhem like me,
Uh,
yeah, like, how many things can you come up with before you make a change? So pretty soon those will be nostalgic ads, probably maybe within a year, I would bet.
mhm. Gotta pivot and try other things, even though some things are, or some uh, mascots like that are so memorable, but they were kind of. I feel like Geico did it best with like how they made it kind of a retro feel to it. Like they didn't utilize the caveman
Yeah.
mascot for several years, and then they just kind of sprinkled them into an ad, as well as other little mascots that they've used over the years, like the woodchucks. Like how much would
Oh, yeah.
a woodchuck wood or whatever, and it was a Geico themed ad. So like little mascot sprinkles like that. I would like more brands to do like Taco Bell to kind of piggyback to that with the little Chihuahua dog. Imagine if they started that one back up. That would be
Yeah, the
this.
caveman ads, the apology. Do you remember those? It's like 14 years ago, but when they were doing the caveman ads at Geico, they would do an apology because they were insulting cavemen. So they did an ad. They didn't really sell insurance. They took them out to dinner and put them at a dinner table,
That's
and
so
they
fun.
made it about like making fun of yourself. That doesn't really happen a whole lot anymore. Um, you know, uh, I think recently they tried to put the cavemen in a commercial for Geico just to kind of see.
Mhm. They
Yeah.
did like a Geico. It kind of gave me like a Marvel universe with how they did, or how they told the commercial, because they had all of the individual mascots from like, I don't know, the late 2000s to the early 2010s, and they had the wee pig and the woodchucks and the gecko, and then the caveman. So it kind of made me feel like, oh, it's a gecko universe or a Geico universe.
Yeah. I mean, advertising has, Mitch has been pretty critical on how it's gotten pretty bland, is what he means. And it has. It's gotten pretty bland. A lot of people afraid to take risks. And I know as we're on the show right now, I don't think everybody's as I think it's a small amount of the population that's upset about Sydney Sweeney's ad, to be honest. But that sort of kind of sparked a renaissance in that kind of advertising. That honestly, I remember you talk about nostalgic ads because everybody talked about Sydney Sweeney. The first thing I thought of was Cindy Crawford. That's back in my day, right? And the advertising she did, Brooke Shields did some ads like that as well for jeans, and it's that hometown, back next door neighbor, net girl next door type vibe is what they're shooting for, and the nostalgia because they put like an old Mustang in it.
Hmm.
Um, Kind of things like that that can trigger, memories. There was a song by oh, I can't remember the name of the guy now, but it's like the lyrics are like my first real six string back in '69, and huh?
Rick Springfield, Jesse's
No,
girl.
no, that's not a bad
Summer
one
of
to go.
Brian Adams, Summer of
There you
'69.
go. That's it. That's it. Yep. I knew you'd get there faster than me.
I guess.
Brian Adams and 69. And it was really funny. I was watching a video, like some of the people on there, they thought they meant something else about it and they didn't realize. And then they kept watching the video and then they got into it and they were like, oh, 1969. I'll let our
Yes.
audience figure out where that was going. So those people were like thinking something, derogatory. And I'm like, no, man, he's talking about like being in a garage band, his best girl, and missing her, and da 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 da. It's kind of a cute song, and it's like that kind of nostalgia is what they're tapping into with these ads, is
Hmm.
is the memory. Because I mean, that is the most potent way to advertise something. Really, is nostalgia. If you can really tap into it, like
I mean, anything that speaks to your emotions, and honestly, what speaks more to your emotions than reminding you of times that were so much easier when you were a kid, um, where everything didn't feel so damn serious.
no kidding. You could go back and speaking of serious, I'm looking at like you got Tony the Tiger with Kellogg ads. They're great, and then you had oh yeah, and then you would have like the Kool-Aid guy busting in. One of the ads that I remember about the Kool-Aid guy, and it was so hilarious. And as you brought up Marvel, was he would always break through a wall and be like, oh yeah, and he would just show up. Well, in the Hulk series, She-Hulk series, one of the villains busts through the courtroom wall, and I swear to God, that was exactly where my brain went when I was watching that.
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to be like, somebody's got to take that scene and take out the actor that was the villain and put in the Kool-Aid guy
I
going
mean,
after She-Hulk.
even the brand uh, reference in Family Guy even resonates
Oh my
to
God, yes.
nostalgia because I grew up watching it. I wasn't really supposed to, but I was. And anytime I hear the "oh yeah," I just automatically think of anytime that they're in a courtroom and they're like, you hear the gavel and they go, "Oh no, oh no, oh yeah."
Well, yeah, and then you had God, King of the Hills coming back, and that's happening. So yeah, I mean they're even doing that now with streaming services and entertainment. They're bringing back old shows. You
Disney's
see,
been doing a lot with my generation with like there was a show with Selena Gomez called Wizards of Waverly Place. They've been
yeah,
doing episodes of that. Miley Cyrus was on a podcast a couple weeks ago and has said like, it's the 20th anniversary of Hannah Montana, the
wow.
birth of Hannah Montana, and I'm like, I freaking loved Hannah Montana. If she announces a tour, I am spending all my money.
I saw something where there was an ad where it was just showing the wig that she would wear, the blonde wig, and it was kind of sitting on a little mannequin head, and it was just that was it. That was the picture of it in the dressing room, and it said she's coming back.
I
So
don't know. I feel like it may be AI kind of just kind of the word getting out there, and I don't know the authenticity of it, but if it happens, I'm
yeah,
spending money to go and see it because oh my gosh. I had talk about being a fan. There was this and being nostalgic. I remember I asked for this Hannah Montana comforter one year, and I was so excited when I got it for my birthday and it was the itchiest comforter ever. But the fact that it had the glittered Hannah Montana logo on it, I was like, oh, I treasure you forever. I wish I still had it.
I thought it was a cute show. I mean, I understood the premise of it. It was like she was a superhero and she had a secret identity and da 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 da. And I thought it was a cute show. Some of the stories she told that happened though were horrid, but other than that, I mean,
See
yeah,
on the TV, like, oh my gosh, I won't get into too much detail on this, but the Nickelodeon child stars
Oh
doing
yeah.
doing
Hmm.
the Untold documentaries was just it ruined part of my childhood, or a little part of me died, because just hearing on some of the people that they allowed on set and take advantage of these kids, or some of even the seniority members just abusing the hell out of these kids. It just
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a darker side to all of that. If you dive back into nostalgic stuff, we have this thing of, and it's proven that we remember things the way we like to remember them. We don't really remember them 100% accurately, if at all. We sort of rewrite history with that. We look at ads, and as advertisers, we're like, yeah, that ad really stuck. It did well. Why did it become a good ad, or what made it a good ad is really the question to dive into. But then you kind of look at the topic of the ad and you're like, oof, I mean, there's a lot of around. I know, again, keep bringing it up. It's Sydney Sweeney and all that. I don't think there's anything in there at all with that. I'm looking at the campaign and everything. I'm like, that's looking for, if you look hard enough for something you want to find a problem with, you're going to find a problem. That's just the way it goes. So, there's
I can
ads that
see
were,
the debate on it. I don't know. I had to watch, to your point, I had to watch it multiple times to catch the tidbits of what is being accused as the questionable content or the
yeah.
messaging there. And I get it, but I don't know. You kind of really have to.
Yeah, and that's your trigger to go like, okay, well, no, if you're really looking that hard, if you have to look that hard, then it's probably not the thing that's there. I mean, there's been some very tasteless, I guess, ads. If you remember Peloton, was it Peloton? Yeah. They did an ad where the woman was exercising and for body image. I mean, it was not great. And then Ryan Reynolds had to come in with his company and they had to like rescue the rescue the brand, and within like 72 hours, and then the coin term fast advertising was created because of that. If you have to do that, that's not good. And he's done that a few times with brands that have kind of made some mistakes, a little bit tone deaf. You know, Pepsi. We looked at Pepsi today. They've had their fair share more than once of controversy. I mean, if you do advertising, you're going to run into controversy. But to be blatantly and determined about it and doing it that way, I don't believe that's anybody's ever their intent. That's kind of a stretch for me. But anyhow, but yeah, I'm glad you kind of wanted to take us down like memory lane on some of these things. I don't know
Trip
if you
down.
got any. I don't know if you got any others you want to talk about real quick.
I guess just to kind of wrap up is like, what would be some of your top favorite like snack foods that are no longer around from when you were a kid? Do you know of any off the top of your head that are like no longer with us?
Well, no, not really. I mean, I think they've gotten lost in the variety of the options that are out there, to the point where, like Doritos, I mean, there's so many flavors now. You're kind of like, I don't really remember anything on them, or you know what I mean? And candy bars, like I've always been a Snickers guy. I'm pretty plain, but also Butterfinger I like a lot, and I'm not seeing them too much. Uh,
I haven't either.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So maybe that. There was my dad would like cattails, and cattails are basically inside out
oh,
Butterfinger.
is it cow tails or cat tails?
I don't know. I mean, he was country. He would always mispronounce stuff. Wonder where I get it from. So probably that. It probably is true. It's probably cowtails, like you said.
Is it
So
like a white and yellow, or not yellow, orangish brown kind of color to it?
yeah,
Yeah, your cow tails.
yeah, yeah. So you have like old candies that are like that. Yeah,
I don't know if they still had it, but I remember the baby bottle pops. I was obsessed with those. It's where you had kind of like a baby bottle and it had like the little binky thing on top of it. And you had kind of like Fun Dip. You dip it into some kind of powder and then you'd suck on it.
really?
That and
Huh.
the push up pops, like the candy push ups, those were iconic. There's one in particular that I miss so much. It's called Stackers. It's a gummy that kind of looks like, you know, like the sheet of paper that has kind of like wax paper that has usually like the tack material on it, and like
Yeah.
I don't know, like maybe like a 6 by 12 sheet. It's kind of like that, but candy.
We should do a trip to the candy store. I think it's at Ox. I can't remember. Well, I think they're both at Oxmoor and St. Matthews, but one's bigger than the other one. One's got a lot of. One's larger.
Pops.
Yeah,
Mhm.
lollipops. We should go to that. We'll get somebody to film us. Friend, we'll get Danielle to come out, hold the camera while we're going down memory lane with some of the candies. We might do that as an actual thing. I think would be a good thing. But yeah, when you said that, that's what I thought of. I was like, yeah, there's that nostalgic section they got all the way in the back.
Mm-hmm.
It
I
makes you
feel
wonder, how did they get the inventory for that? Like,
they do international candies too, like
yeah,
it's from Japan, Mexico, England. Like they have a bunch of Cadbury uh varieties, like all different, like beyond just milk chocolate. Like they got almonds, they got dark chocolate, probably white chocolate,
yeah,
salted caramel. Like it's a mecca of candy for
yeah.
the mecca of
So what you're
candy.
saying is, if we go out there, you, me, and Danielle would likely walk out with like 6 pounds of candy.
Probably gummies are lethal for me. I will always get a gummy candy.
All right, well, that's a free ad for lollipops. If you want to like and subscribe, go to the NerdBrand podcast and nerdbrandagency.com/podcast. If you're on video watching us right now on YouTube, you can actually like see that below. If you're curious about podcasting and you want to do it for your business and you got something interesting, or you have an interesting business that would require this, and this would be a great medium, contact us and we'll help you produce the show. It's a lot easier than you think. And a lot of people just kind of overthink things, and we're not about overthinking. Overthinking is actually a thing. Mitch's axiom number 75. I guess it's 75. I don't know how he numbers those things. Anyhow, we're going to get a bunch of t-shirts printed up with Mitch's axioms on it. That's coming. That's in the works. We also have some other special gifts and things that we're working on as well. And yeah, Nerd Brand is planting its flag in good old J-Town, Jeffersontown, Kentucky. So no, you cannot visit us at that office, but if you make an appointment, we'll meet you there and we'll go for coffee. So we got some exciting things coming up. We're shooting some commercials for some clients that we're excited to work with. We just sent out a newsletter again about a new client we just onboarded. So if you'd like to join the newsletter, go to the the link below, nerdbrandagency.com/podcast, and sign up for the newsletter to get updates and find out how some of the people we're working for, and maybe that you could use their services. That's a thing, right? So other than that, Michaela, you got anything else you want to add and throw in there?
I'm good.
Yeah. All righty. Well, I guess that's the end of this show today. Thanks for listening. And remember, keep your nerd brand strong.